Showers of blessings, everyone. Welcome to Living Single and Satisfied, where we encourage singles to enjoy their life one day at a time. So today I want to share with you a very important conversation that my best friends and I had on yesterday. We were talking about dating and what questions you should ask on the first date, and should you check out the information that people tell you when you're getting to know them. And so we discussed what questions you should ask on the first date. And we realized that a lot of times people ask questions according to their mentality, the level they are at in life, what's most important to them, and, what's priority to them. We noticed that people, that are younger may ask, what kind of car do you drive? What kind of clothes do you wear? How much money do you make? Or what can you do for me? And things of that nature. And then we realized that older people, around our age, 45, or, at a certain level of maturity, they may ask, how do you handle stress? When you're frustrated, when you're in a stressful situation, how do you handle it? Because a lot of times that lets you know how people are going to react to you if you make them mad. And so for me, I was like, what do I ask on the first date? And I realized that, when I meet someone, or when I go on a first date with someone and, we're asking questions, what's most important to me is, what is your relationship with God? Because for me, my relationship with God is very important. And that's my foundation. If I have issues in life, if I need an encouraging word, if I need direction, and I don't have anyone to go to, I go to the Word of God. Or, God may lead me to a certain scripture, when I need to depend on Him instead of always depending on someone else. So for me, a person's relationship with God is very important. And then, also I ask, when was your last relationship? How did it end? Who ended it? What happened? What is your relationship with your ex now? Things like that are of importance to me at this age in my life. My questions probably would have been different at age 25, 26, 27. But now at 45, my priorities are different and my maturity level is different. So my questions are going to be different. So again, whatever your maturity level is, whatever is most important to you, those are type of questions that you ask on the first date. Whatever it is that you want to know, ask. And I really, really recommend that you ask questions on the first date. Don't shy away from it, because again, you're trying to get to know people and you really need to know what's important to you. You really need to know how people think or what they've encountered or how they just react and act in certain situations. So ask those questions. If a person is offended by you asking questions, then sometimes that's a red flag. Because if a person really wants to get to know you, if a person is really interested in you, and they want to give you the choice to choose whether or not you want to continue seeing them, they won't mind you asking questions. And so that was one thing we discussed, what questions do you ask on the first date? And then we also, discussed this very important thing. And this is something that a lot of people may not know about, or not people may not even think about doing. But do you check out the information that people have told you about themselves? Like for me, I met a guy one time and we went on a first date, and of course, and I was wrong. I was stereotyping him because I saw tattoos and everything on his arm. So I asked, do you have a background? Have you ever been in trouble with the law? And he shared with me, even though it was stereotype, it just so happened that, he had encountered the law before. And, it wasn't anything major, but he told me, the situation, the details of the situation, the outcome of the situation. He was open enough to share that information with me, even though it was so personal and even though it was some information that some people shy away from. So, and after he shared that information with me, I said, so you do know that I'm going to go behind you and check this information. And he was like, fine, everything I've told you, you're going to see it out there. And so you may be wondering, well, how did you check that information? This is something that a lot of people may not know or may not even think about when they're getting to know people. any information that you need to know, well, a lot of information that you need to know about people is public records, as far as their criminal background record, the domestic relations records, or marital records. All of that information is public records. And so feel free to check out that information. Where can you find it? You can find it on your circuit clerk's website. And again, it's not being nosy, it's protecting yourself. Because I realize that people omit certain information when they're getting to know you or when they're interested in you, because they don't want to push you away. But it's very important that people share all of the information and give you a fair chance of choosing whether or not you want to continue seeing them. And then even if they don't give you any information, if they don't give you all the information, go out there and check. You get on their website, you check those public records, just to cover yourself, just to protect yourself. And if a person is offended when you tell them that you're going to check those records, then that's a red flag. Like when I told him, he was like, fine. And to me, that kind of put me at ease. And, it let me know that, hey, he might be telling me the truth. And then when I went out there and checked everything, he was telling me the truth. And so, it gave me a sense of ease as far as, I maybe can trust this guy, because he did tell me the truth about something that was very important. But, I just wanted to stress the fact that, public records are out there. Ask how many times have you been married, or if you've been married, or, if you've been divorced, who filed for divorce, what happened? All of that information is out there. Domestic relations records, if they filed for divorce, if they say they've filed for divorce, and, they say, it's in the works, go out there and check. All of that information is out there. Because sometimes you may find that it's out there and they're telling the truth. And sometimes you may find that, hey, you told me you all were going through a divorce, but no one has filed. And so, again, it's just a way to protect yourself. And the circuit clerk's website is a very good resource. And every state should have that information. So if you need more information, just let me know and I'll try to help you. But again, it's not saying anything bad about the guy. It's not saying that you don't believe him totally, but it's just a way to protect yourself. And men, if you're watching this video, I recommend you do that with females too, because females are not squeaky clean. People may have done some blue collar crimes. They may have done some white collar crimes. You can never look at a person's demeanor now and say, hey, they've never done anything in their life. They've never got in trouble, because people, make some bad decisions in their younger age and they change. And, even though they're living a different life now, you still can't judge a book by its cover. So feel free to go out there and check that information. Just cover yourself and know that it's very important. Know that those resources are out there. When we were talking yesterday, I knew the resources were out there. And one of the other ladies knew the resources were out there, but some of the other ladies didn't have any idea that you could check those records, that they were public information. And, we showed them, how you can do it, and, what the information looks like as far as the court cases and the detailed information and the judgments, the outcome, the domestic relations records, even the marital license records. You can go out there and check to see if someone has marriage licenses out there or been married before. So all of that information is useful and resourceful, and some people know about it and some people don't. So if you're one of the ones that know about it, share that information with other people. Let them know, hey, don't shy away from asking important questions, and don't shy away from checking, out the information that people have told you, because people can put on a good cover up. People can look real squeaky clean on the outside, but something in their past, may be out there. And not saying that, if they have something in their past that you should just say, no, I don't want to get to know you anymore. No, you look at that information. You read that information. You look at a person, how they act now, and then you determine whether or not it's beneficial to you or safe for you to proceed further. But the most important thing I want you to know is that you should always ask questions on the first date. You should always ask those important questions that you have, and you should always check out that information. And even if you don't ask that many questions, you may not feel comfortable asking a lot of questions on the first date. Still, when you go home, get on that internet, check out, Google his name, uh, Google on that circuit clerk's website to see if any information is out there for him, because it's very important. Again, you're only protecting yourself. It's not that you're being nosy. It's not that you're being a detective. It's just that you're protecting yourself. And people, we know a lot of things are going on now. So it's very important for us to protect ourselves, especially the women. And then too, the men, you have to protect yourselves as well. So again, I just wanted to share with you the conversation that my best friends and I had, because it was very good. It was very useful and it was very resourceful. And again, what we discussed was that you should ask questions on the first date. And a lot of those questions are determined by your level of maturity, your age, what's most important to you, and what's your priorities at this point in life. And then to check out that information, Google his name, research his information, and, make sure that what he's told you actually matches up to what's out there in those public records. So again, I hope this information has been useful to you, because it's useful to me, and again, it only protects you. So if you need more information about it, please feel free to let me know. Or if you know some of my friends that I may be talking about, hit them up and let them know that, hey, you want more information about, what we discussed yesterday. But again, just don't shy away from asking questions, and don't shy away from doing research. It protects you in the long run. So may God bless you. May God keep you. And again, as we always say, living single and satisfied, may you enjoy your single life one day at a time. God bless you. God bless you in showers of blessings.